However, I want to pivot back to Atlanta. Rayshard Brooks' widow is speaking along with other members, I believe, of the family. Let's take a listen.
Became our reality. Not only did we lose another black, unarmed male, this time it landed on our front doorstep. Blessing, memory, and dream will never get to see their father again. Not only was he a girl dad, he was a loving husband, caring brother, and most importantly to me, an uncle I could depend on. Rayshard Brooks was silly. He had the brightest smile and the biggest heart and loved to dance since we were kids. Me and my uncle are both 27 years of age. 27 years of age. No one walking this green earth expects to be shot and killed like trash in the street for falling asleep in a drive-thru. Rayshard has a family who loves him, who would have gladly came and got him so he could be here with us today. The day after my uncle's murder, his oldest daughter set for her father in her birthday dress to come and take her skating. And to look across the room and know that it's never a possibility anymore breaks my heart. Me and my family are still grieving the loss of my grandmother when my uncle's life was horrifically taken away from us. Not only are we hurt, we are angry. When does it stop? We're not only pleading for justice, we're pleading for change. Zone 3, where my uncle was killed, is the same zone we represented and loved all our lives. We stood with the Atlanta Police Department when they were just tearing up our city and said, this doesn't happen here, leave them alone. And here we are 3 weeks later, those same police took something away from my family that we'll never get back, Rayshard Brooks. Most of us haven't slept or eaten since we viewed a video of a man being murdered to only get a phone call moments later to tell you it's your loved one. This entire situation has traumatized me and my entire family, I'm sure for the rest of our lives. My uncle did not die in vain. His life mattered. George Floyd's life mattered. Breonna Taylor's life mattered. Michael Brown's life mattered. Sandra Bland's life mattered. I'm not only asking the city of Atlanta to stand with us, I'm asking for everyone in this nation to stand with us as we seek justice for Rayshard. Thank you.
Now you hear from his cousin, Tiara Brooks.
Rayshard Brooks. The name that may start a protest tomorrow or another day in the future. However, the man himself no longer has a future. He can no longer live in the present nor plan for tomorrow. No matter what the different points of view are ours of his death, we must all agree to one fact. The fact that he was killed by the Atlanta Police Department. The fact that someone's cousin, brother, uncle, nephew, father, companion, and friend is no longer in this world. The trust that we have with the police force is broken. And the only way to heal some of these wounds is through a conviction and a drastic change with the police department. But honestly, true justice will never prevail because we will never be able to bring back Rayshard Brooks. He will no longer be able to return to this world nor to his family. However, again, if we stand together and united as one, there will be no more cases similar to Rayshard's. How many more protests will it take to ensure that the next victim isn't your cousin, your brother, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, or your companion, so that we can finally end the suffering of police excessive force. We are tired. Guys, we're tired. And we are frustrated. Most importantly, we're heartbroken. So we need justice for Rayshard Brooks.
This is Mr. Brooks's cousin. His name is Mr. Allen.
I'm gonna try to make this brief and clear. First and foremost, we want to say, want to show our appreciation and thanks to everybody that's been out here supporting us and helping us. And we encourage you to continue to do so. And I actually go by the name of the Decatur Red. A lot of people know me as that. A lot of celebrities I see that been trying to reach out and try to find the family. We are the family. I am the family. And if you're trying to help, you know, reach out to me so we can try to make sure that my cousin and his wife and his kids is taken care of. If you can't help financially, then try to just keep help with your voice and stay with the protest. But again, I want to just tell you that we appreciate all the help. We appreciate the voices around the nation. We thank you.
As y'all know, I'm attorney Chris Stewart, and I tried to figure out a way to encompass everything that's going on and get rid of the division of one side versus the other and get the whole country to understand what's going on. And the first thing that came to mind is what we all just went through with the coronavirus outbreak. We all sheltered in place for months, losing our mind. And then we started seeing on the news large amounts of white Americans demanding change, coming out and rallying in the streets and protesting and making their governments change laws so that we could start getting back to regular life. And as I sat stunned watching TV and watching so many of our white brothers and sisters out there rallying, protesting because they thought something was wrong with the current state of laws in their city or state, we didn't have a problem with it. That is their right as Americans to demand change, to demand laws change. So why is it so offensive or painful or off-putting when African Americans step forward to demand change against police brutality? Why is it so wrong when we are protesting in the street when we see something wrong with police abuse? It's our God-given and American right also. So it's a thing of unity when you see both sides of it. You have to support and vocalize your rights as we did and we watched on TV and as people are doing in the streets now. Demanding changes in laws, in policies, in accountability, in value of life where that a man that was running away doesn't get shot twice in the back. And now there's a question of was it reckless or should he have used that force? Let me tell you and show you why shooting in a crowded parking lot is so reckless and so unnecessary of what he did. A witness today sent us his vehicle, which was hit by one of Officer Rowe's bullets while he and his kids were in the car. A couple feet up, and we would have had another loss of life. So, trying to justify the actions of shooting at Mr. Brooks as he's running away in a crowded Wendy's parking lot when you can easily catch him later for what started off as a very non-confrontational situation, it can't be justified. It cannot be justified. Otherwise, we're going to continue to lose lives from stray bullets shooting at someone that should have never been shot at. And people ask, how could this have ended? Why did he resist? Why it could have ended there? Well, it also could have ended here. I can walk. My sister's house is right here. That's how this could have ended. It didn't have to go to that level, and that's what we're saying in America with policing, is this type of empathy is gone. The courtesy of an officer, it wasn't like he was called there because Mr. Brooks had been swerving and was a danger to society. The first call was because a man was asleep. Where is the empathy in just letting him walk home? That's what policing is supposed to be, no matter what color you are. But as they said, that's broken, that's gone. We don't see that often, and we definitely don't see it in the African American community. So just like the protests before, that's what we're demanding. It's not just laws and policy changes, but a mental change in policing, which is missing. So we do want everybody's support. We're looking forward to the DA's findings in this situation. And the only thing that we can ask for is some semblance of an idea of justice, because there is no definition anymore of what it is. But what we know right now is that a man's life was taken when it should never have happened.
Right now, we want to introduce everyone to Tamika, who many of you have met, and the kids, Blessing, Memory, and Dream. Blessing, it was her 8th birthday when her father died. She had her birthday party on the same exact day that they found out that their father was killed. She had her birthday dress on, as all of you have heard. She had cupcakes and friends over. She was supposed to go skating with her dad, and that didn't happen, of course. So, also Makai, who's 13, is his stepson, and he took care of him as well. And Tamika, you want to say a few words?
I just want to thank everybody for all the protesting, love, and support that you guys have done. Words can't explain how thankful I am for everything. Even though I can't bring my husband back, I know he's down smiling because his name will forever be remembered. And no, there's no justice that can ever make me feel happy about what's been done. I can never get my husband back. I can never get my best friend. I can never tell my daughter, oh, he's coming to take you skating or swimming lessons. So it's just gonna be a long time before I heal. It's gonna be a long time before this family heals. And I just, like I said, I'm just thankful for everything that everyone is out there doing. And I just ask that if you could just keep it as a peaceful protest, that would be wonderful. Because we want to keep his name positive and great.
Lastly, we do want to acknowledge and thank Tyler Perry, who we spoke with, who will be taking care of the funeral for the family. And it's support like that, and it's people who are actually in this community, that love the community, that want healing and families like this to never have to go through something like this, to step forward. And we want to thank him for such a generous move. Yeah, 3 brief questions.
I have a question for anyone in the family. Did Rayshard ever discuss what would have been going on? Had y'all ever discussed with him, the previous shootings that happened, just all the conversation that everyone's been having for the last month or so? I'm just curious.
Oh, with the George, I mean, we've watched it, and I've always said, baby, I don't ever want that to be you, or, he was always like, no, it's going to change, it's going to change. He always tried to stay positive about everything. But we've had our incidents where we've had police officers stereotype my husband just because tattoos in his face, so it's really crazy. I'm scared every day. My children go out, my husband go out, my family members go out. I'm scared every day because I don't know what to expect. And this just really startled me because I don't even know if they're going to come home.
And Christian, that kind of, it goes to a point of people are asking, well, why would he resist when they were trying to put him in handcuffs? Well, they put George Floyd in handcuffs, and he was subsequently killed. So just getting put in handcuffs, if you're African American, doesn't mean, oh, you're going to get nicely taken to the back of a police car. So, especially watching this video of George Floyd over and over again, his reaction may have been, I'm not getting put in handcuffs. So we can't just toss it out because he resisted. George Floyd didn't, and it ended the same way.
And this is something that is not new. It's not just with this George Floyd. All of us, I know every black man standing behind me and woman too, we have all been dealing with this from birth. So that's a trauma that is deep. It's not something that just started 2 months ago. I still today dress like I dress, do what I do, I still feel nervous around police, and that shouldn't be the case, right? And so if you feel that way and then you see all of these things happening, of course you're gonna feel some kind of way when the police come up to you and you are somewhere where you're not in the perfect state of mind at that point in time.
Yes, I believe it was Chastity that who spoke about this. I think you mentioned a few weeks ago that your family was asking people not to attack the precinct, the police. And can you talk about that moment and what it feels like now, thinking that that's the position you took before?
It makes you eat your words. I love Atlanta. My family loves Atlanta. And when they were busting out the windows at CNN Center, we were like, why are they doing this to our city? Burning down police cars, why are they burning police cars? This doesn't happen in our city. And he hit our front door. So not only does it happen in our city, it happens in cities everywhere.
I just want to.
Family members tell us a little bit more about Rayshard Brooks as who he was. What did he like to do? What did he do? What was he as a person?
Who wants to talk about it? Tell me your name.
My name is Jamaico Brooks. Rayshard is my first cousin. These people that you see behind you are his sisters, his brothers, his nieces, his nephews, his first cousins. A week and a half ago, me and his older brother were playing chess. And he just popped up. And I said, cuz, how you doing, man? You good? He said, yeah, I came because I need to see my wife and my baby, man, my daughter's birthday. I said, you staying out of trouble? You all right? He said, man, I'm fine, cuz, I'm all right. We shared a few drinks, a few laughs. His big brother gave him a few dollars and he left. He was always happy. He was always smiling. And you'd have to kill him by one of his family members, because he wasn't that type of dude. So, to you people that are looking around the world and you have your feelings, before it happened to us, I could only guess at what you felt, but now I understand. Life shouldn't be this complicated. Life shouldn't be where we have to feel some type of way if we see a police or somebody of a different color. I didn't come down here to talk to the media. I came to love on my people. But if you ask how old this young black man was, look at your children when you see them laugh. That innocence, that joy, that pureness of soul. And you had a glimpse of what we lost. You'll have a glimpse of what it feels like. Because tomorrow, we're gonna have to deal with it again. We're gonna have to bury him. We're gonna have to say, we miss you. And if we didn't say we love you enough, we gotta apologize to him for not telling him that we loved him that much.
Father told my cousin, man. Oh, yeah, I can't be. I gotta go. I have to go. Y'all took my cousin from me. I just want y'all to know that y'all took my cousin from me. Y'all took the wrong person. That wasn't the person to take, because he wasn't no cousin.
Thank you.
I'm really not sure what else America needs to see. Want to rerun a George Floyd? Sadly, I'm probably going to be back here in a few months with another case.
In 60 years, we went from about 100,000 factory workers to probably about 7,000.
Off in the distance, you can see some factories that are still humming, but most of them are just kind of abandoned.
The restaurant industry right now is one of the largest and fastest growing industries in America. And yet it continues to be the absolute lowest paying employer in the United States.
Barely anybody's making enough to live.
You were donating plasma to get by.
It's literally a slave wage.
I don't remember growing up like this. My mom didn't have to go to food banks. It's pretty sad.
How do we put this in perspective about how worried we should be?
We're going to share the newest numbers and critical information on the outbreak.
Vladimir Duthier is tracking the plight of the restaurant business. Vlad?
You've been talking to doctors. What are they saying to you about their experiences?
Doctors and scientists in a race against time to cure coronavirus. Every evening we'll show how close they are, racing to a cure on the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.
These are hard, tiring, taxing jobs, even before coronavirus came.
This is my Clorox wipes, my Lysol. I have no idea what I'm walking into. I don't know if the customers are carriers.
I feel privileged to be out here when so many people are out of work.
Did you ever think that you would find yourselves at the front line?
We have the opportunity to bring something valuable to the community, and that feels good.
We have to be willing to change policy on a permanent basis to recognize and honor these workers.
It doesn't seem like it's worth the risk that you endure every day.
I have to do what I can to take care of myself and my family.
If you had the choice, would you stay home?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh my God, the truck is sinking.
Devastating flooding has reached catastrophic levels.
Rising sea levels are threatening America's coasts.
You would have to take that house and put it on stilts 10 feet tall. If the street is filled with salt water, what difference does it make how high you make your house?
The concentration of the highest rental rates is exactly where the elevation is highest.
This was the evidence to prove that climate gentrification was real.
Pay $1,800 in 5 days or you have to leave. Were you scared?
Yes.
Every single person who stood up and said, I am not paying this rent increase, received an eviction.
Haitians built this place and you're getting kicked out.
Yes.
So what we just saw was the family of Rayshard Brooks speaking to the media. We have seen his widow speak, but this is the first time that we heard from his extended family. And if you watch the whole thing, you saw the last 30 seconds, I think it really really sort of gave us a window into the despair, the pain, the loss of just one person being removed from your family, being killed. And you can see that this is going to have a profound long-term effect on his entire extended family. This is a person that was loved, and this is a family, Vlad, that, you know, expressed how they were already reeling from the protests that we've been seeing, that this conversation that we've all been having, they've been having in their family about injustices, about the concern about police over-policing and police abuse. And then suddenly they find themselves going from reading the headlines to becoming a headline. And it is, their pain was palpable.
You could hear that pain expressed emotionally, Anne-Marie, by those extended family members as they recounted, as you say, how significant this loss is to their family. You heard relatives and then children just wailing. And I think it's rare for people, as you and I were talking earlier, to see the visceral reaction that family members have to something like this, to a killing, a shooting, a taking of a life by law enforcement of a family member. And, you know, what struck me also was at the very end of that, as the family all filed out, the lawyer for the family said, you know, that he will probably be here standing at this very podium talking to reporters in the near future, basically saying, like, this is something that happens all too often. And even as people have been taking to the streets to protest, even as people have been demanding change, and you see change. The President of the United States, or you see change on the horizon, I should say. The President of the United States is meeting with Black leaders and people this week to talk about this. Former Vice President Joe Biden is talking about this consistently. But this is still happening. And, you know, you don't get an opportunity often to hear the pain, feel the pain from family members as we did in that one moment. And so, you know, people who may not understand what it's like to go through something like this just saw it live on television.